Oh, here we go.
Tits.
Hi guys, I'm back! Woohoo! Yeah! I'm totally stoked, bro! Bro surf, yeah! Cue the celebration music, man!
Guess who's back in the motherfucking house with a fat dick for your motherfucking mouth?
Okay. Bit of a vulgar celebration song, but let's go with it. Yes indeed, everyone. I am in fact back in the so-called house. Or cave. Just scratch that part about me having a dick for your motherfucking mouth. We all know this is the house of tits. So, well, this has gotten off to a good start. Hope you're all having a wonderful holiday season. Christmas was fun. Ate too much, drank nowhere near enough, and didn't come into contact with any poisonous snakes. You know how we Aussies just love to peddle this story to people who don't live here about how the country is just full of deadly animals waiting to kill you? And all the while the worst thing most of us have ever seen is a little harmless black house spider named Teddy. Well, boy did I freak the fuck out when I heard about a family living nearby that found a tiger snake wrapped around their Christmas tree. This particular snake is no joke. It's one of the top 10 most poisonous snakes in the world, and if bitten can cause death within 30 minutes. So yeah, basically, it's likely that I've passed one of these bastards while running or in the park. And this wasn't the only Christmas snake story I found. Sadly, an elderly man passed away in hospital after he was bitten by a taipan in Cairns. This snake is probably within the top 5 most poisonous snakes in the world. In fact, I think Australia has about 5 or 6 in the top 10. Cop a bite from this snake and your blood starts to clot, blocking your veins and arteries, and without anti-venom, you're gone within an hour. And one cannot overlook the most deadliest of all Australian snakes, the femi-cunt snake, aka Clementine Ford. The most aggressive, deceptive, poisonous snake you can find.
You know, what do you expect when you involve yourselves with men?
I've often heard people make the comparison between third-wave feminism and poison, like an ideological poison corroding your insides with a bombardment of guilt and shaming tactics, until all that's left is a corrupted vessel, ready to infect and shame the next person into submission. Sorry, I got a little detailed there. But when I read articles like this one, the poison and feminism comparison springs to mind. I must admit, I felt ill reading this article, as it describes a soon-to-be mother experiencing trauma and anxiety as she learns that her precious baby girl is in fact a baby boy. And yet even more disturbing is how she overcomes her great disappointment with the knowledge that she will raise him correctly by indoctrinating him into the feminist way. All his life he will be raised to feel shame and guilt for his gender's oppression of women. From the teach men not to rape slogans, right down to taking responsibility for women's personal life choices in the form of a wage gap myth. Let's have a read through and see if we can combat the vomit rife within our throats. Having a son went from a dilemma to being the most valuable lesson of my life. Okay, so right off the bat we've got a headline that refers to having a boy as a dilemma. No, definitely no sexist attitudes there. And describing the process of overcoming this news as a valuable lesson. Nice one. I've always been a feminist. I'm lucky. Perhaps, if you consider the term lucky to be synonymous with sheep. Or cow. My mother, Jane Carrow, is a feminist, as is my grandmother. And both always have been. Oh God. Yeah, we'll get into that feminist grandma shortly. Ew, that sounded gross, didn't it? It's something I've never questioned and always felt confident and strident about. Just ask me about it at a dinner party, if you dare. Oh, fuck no. If I came into contact with you at a party and you started with that guilt-shaming, victim-pushing crap on me, I'd grab the most cock-shaped food I could find, shove it in your mouth and use the sweet patriarchal hors d'oeuvre as a shut-the-fuck-up muzzle. Motherhood has been quite a confronting experience for my feminism so far, and I'm sure it will continue to be. Ever since discovering I was pregnant, it's been a process of adjusting and reconciling my biology with my ideology, particularly when I discovered that my baby, my most beloved Alfred, would be a boy. Oh no, the humanity! A boy. Give me syphilis, give me crabs, just not a fucking boy. I find her initial reaction to learning she was having a boy troubling, and it's obvious that her feminist ideology has a connection to it. When you're raised to see men as vile oppressors, is it no wonder that the thought of having one would disturb you? She even describes her reaction as if it was traumatic, that it caused her anxiety.
It's a boy.
Oh yeah, here we go. Back to Granny darling. See, I told you we'd come back to the grandma. Heh. Oh wait, was it get into the feminist grandma? Shit, I don't know. I can never keep it straight. That was an erection joke. Never mind. Moving on. So getting back to her grandma, who spread the seed of feminism so that every member of the family was ball and chain to the ideology. She's a prominent feminist herself. She does TV shows, writes articles, does TED Talks and other feminist peddling bullshit like that. But her latest work is really a pivotal step towards highlighting the blatant sexist attitudes prevalent within our society. Did you know that men receive greater praise and admiration for being self-declared feminists? Oh, I know, you try for so long to shame men into being feminists, and when they are, women get salty that they receive praise for doing so. Bitch, fucking bitch. Will you ever stop fucking whining? Feminists are like the Harry Houdinis of complaining. You turn whinging into a bloody art form. I had never wanted a son. I wanted daughters. Probably because I am one of 2 daughters and 6 granddaughters. No sons or grandsons. Sounds like a feminist coven. Meryl Streep, Sandra Bullock, and that bitch with the nose ring and the huge cunt-shaped mouth from that movie The Craft. This seemed altogether to fit in with my feminism better. It was more comfortable with me. But when the sonographer pointed out my son's dangly bits in our 19-week scan, it was clear that I was going to raise a son. Dangly bits. Her choice of expression says it all, doesn't it? Saying dangly bits, it's almost dehumanizing in a way. Like the tentacles on Omegon. Or some alien-esque limb of a creature holding her womb hostage. The anxious feeling I had about this daunting prospect lasted a few weeks as I came to terms with why I felt the way I did and how I could let it go. She makes it sound like she was traumatized. Unbelievable. There were 2 parts to the feeling. I had to mourn the life that I thought I was supposed to have, the elder daughter of my 2 girls. Mourned her. So extreme, like the non-existent baby girl died and you were left with this shitty consolation prize boy. And I had to come to terms with having a relationship with a son that I had never really considered. There were dark moments in the middle of the night when all those dark thoughts come, when I felt sick with worry, thinking about how I would go about raising a son. For fuck's sake, I just love the overdramatic depiction of a woman kept up at night and her internal struggles, wondering how she could ever raise a boy to not become a patriarchal dicklord man that would oppress every woman he meets. A deep-seated monsterization of men handed down through the generations of feminist women within your family has made you mental, love. I know a feminist counter-argument would suggest that unborn baby girls have and still are subjected to these kinds of attitudes, where having a boy is desirable over a girl. Well, these kinds of attitudes are a problem, but to be clear, I'm not talking about a parent's desire to have a girl over a boy or a boy over a girl. Most people have a preference. That doesn't make them bad or a demonstration of sexist attitudes in society. I'm talking about the physical reaction of learning the sex of the baby that led to an extended period of anxiety and depression. And specifically in this case, where the feminist ideology is ingrained within the mother and her whole family. Are these the clear negative effects of a movement that demonizes men? And is it irrational to think that, given women have full control over their reproductive rights in Western society, that the anxiety and depression developed over having a boy could in some cases lead to a termination of the pregnancy? This scenario is far-fetched, but certainly one to consider given the separation of logic and the attachment to emotional responses that third-wave feminism creates. But I know what these thoughts were now. They were a manifestation of the same feelings I've had a few times over the past year. In this patriarchal world, this world where even the best men, and women for that matter, engage in casual and ingrained sexism, how will I raise a son who respects me the way a daughter would, who sees women just like him, as just human beings? Oh, like it would be such a huge fucking task to raise a boy to treat women with respect. And what are you even talking about? Boys are constantly taught from a very early age to be gentle with girls, only to then be told once that they're men that treating them gently is an underlying sexist attitude that depicts women as weak, or that women exist to be held hostage in a patriarchal society which determines that women need to either be rescued by men or rescued from men. And even as these words come out of my fucking mouth, I'm realizing that I know far too many feminist buzzwords that the average healthy, sane person should know. People are constantly telling me boys are easier to raise. Casual and ingrained sexism, anyone? How do I ever raise a boy to respect his mother more than a girl would? Casual and ingrained sexism, anyone? Fuckhead. But I think they are much harder. How do you raise a white middle-class boy not to think his own experience is the default experience of the world? You can go ahead and shove your intersectional, privileged, middle-class, white, cis, male, feminist guilt up your ass. That's a whole other freak show I just can't be fucked getting into. How do you counter a society that makes things easier for him than for others? And make him see it? See how it is for women, for people of colour? Bullshit! How does society do that? We live in a society that makes discrimination punishable, one that gives everyone the right to make their own choices within the confines of the law, where businesses are rewarded and encouraged to hire more women, one that sees women receive lesser punishment for committing the same crime as a man, and primarily spotlights domestic violence towards women. A free society where you can teach him that he should feel guilt over the colour of his skin and, as you called it, the dangly bits between his legs. Raising a boy who maintains the status quo sure would be easy, but I refuse to be satisfied with that. I will raise a feminist boy, just like his father and grandfathers before him, but even better. I will point sexism out to him at every turn, and he will never get away with it without being called out. I will show him that girls are just people like him, and that products and art targeted at them are no less valuable or enjoyable. He will be immersed in feminism by a family who models it in their everyday life. I don't even know what to fucking say to that. I'm sure this is emotional abuse. I feel really fucking sorry for this kid, I really do. Pointing out sexism at every turn, calling him out, not letting him get away with it. All this emotional abuse is going to create another self-entitled judgmental bully, just what the world needed. A girlfriend of mine with a son, she had struggled with similar feelings, said something that stuck with me when I discovered my baby would be a boy. She said that she thinks it is sometimes better for women who wanted girls to be mothers of sons. We love women so much we wanted daughters, and so we will raise sons to love and respect women. By having sons, we do feminism a great service. No, love, no. By having feminist sons, you're doing women a great disservice. Creating cock-shriveled, broke-down, no-sack-having beta male testosterone-void pussy worshippers. That's what you're creating. The very qualities that women have been evolutionarily ingrained to find undesirable in a partner. Congratulations. So thanks for watching, everyone. Holidays are coming to an end, so I'll be making more new content as well as re-uploading old videos for your tits viewing pleasure. But for now, I'm fucking off. Hope you enjoyed this feminist retardation. And tits out, bitches.